What do you expect to see here this Saturday against Wisconsin? Michigan has not won there since 2001. These are two teams that absolutely do not trust their quarterbacks. Graham Mertz threw Wisconsin out of that game against Notre Dame. They were ahead in that game and going early in the fourth quarter. Of course, the Irish had that kickoff return, and then Graham Mertz just does what he basically has done against every opponent other than Illinois in the opener last year. And what I think both coaches are going to do here, I think Michigan's already shown you this is what they're going to do. And I think Paul Chryst right now is sitting there thinking, you know what, man, I don't care what I promised this kid and recruit or nothing else. I'm running that Malusi kid and Jalen Berger into the effing ground on Saturday. Okay, we're gonna see Jim Harbaugh and I are gonna play who's more stubborn. All right, because who's the first person that forces their quarterback to make the stupid mistake that ends up losing him the game? Punts on third down. This is going to be a game that makes David Shaw aroused. That's what I think we're going to see on Saturday. You?
Well, I will say, Steve, that I'm surprised that I'm making this comment, but I'm more certain about Michigan football and what they're going to give me on Saturday in regards to their identity, their game plan, their approach, and the level of play. I think this is a good football team. I think it's one of the 15 best teams in America, but no more than that. Wisconsin, though, you've brought up his name more than any other name other than Cade McNamara during this segment, and that's Graham Mertz. And I was going to say right out of the gate, he's the most important player in this game, because if Graham Mertz can just turn in a 12 or 18 day and not turn the ball over, just not turn the ball over, then I trust that the Wisconsin defense. You know, who has ever seen a team that's given up 41 points as they did to Notre Dame on Saturday, that had 6 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, held their opponent to under 300 yards total offense? They're still a great defense.
Yes, they
are a great defense.
Yeah, that's an amazing stat line that you just laid out there. I think Wisconsin's going to win by double digits. I don't think Michigan will score an offensive touchdown.
If they can get Graham Mertz just to take care of the football. He did the same thing against Penn State. He couldn't catch a snap inside the red zone. He messed up the game. He messed up the game against Notre Dame. That's all there is to it, man. Yeah. Kyron Williams, one of the best running backs in college football. Steve, Kyron Williams gained 33 yards on 18 carries against that Notre Dame
this Notre Dame offensive line is not that good. I mean, last 2 weeks ago against Purdue, Kyron had like a 60-yard run in the fourth quarter, and he had like 90 yards on his previous 23 carries or something. So this offensive line's not that great, but I get your point. This Wisconsin D is phenomenal, no doubt about it. It's the best unit on the field, I think. They're at home. Michigan just doesn't win games against sentient beings wearing white jerseys. When they're the ones wearing white jerseys, they don't win in that stadium. You're not going
with some red mixed in.
Yeah, and you don't trust it. I meant when Michigan's wearing the white jerseys.
Oh, okay.
But they don't trust your quarterback. If neither team does, give me the team who's at home. They're more likely to get away with not trusting their quarterback. And then I think next week you and I will be talking about two people playing for their jobs: Scott Frost and Cade McNamara. All right. And, Frost can finally either get a signature win or Cade McNamara saves his job. That's what I think you and I will be talking about this time next week. I'll give you the last word.
Well, think about how fun this is, Steve, that we just witnessed the worst team in the division, of the Big Ten Eastern Division, and they played within one score of Michigan. And I was looking at the drive chart and just rewatched the second half cut down version. And they had opportunity after opportunity. 10 minutes left in the game. They had first and goal to tie the game. If they are able to do that, we've got 7. I don't know what the probability or the math number is on the number of games that are going to be played within this division. But if Ohio State doesn't kick up its game, Penn State's probably the best team in the division in regards to at least they're the most certain team I know that's a quality team week to week.
We'll see. They can't run the ball. Almost all their offensive stats are against Ball State and Villanova. Okay, they can't run. They ran the ball for less than 100 yards against Auburn. Couldn't run the ball a lick against Wisconsin. We'll see. I don't know.
I
think this is why your guy is so. This is why your guy is so aggressive with McCord at quarterback, because I think he knows I've got a game or two in this conference to play with, and as long as I can be 7-2 and win the league, and as long as those 2 losses are not to Penn State and somebody else, I think that's why there was such a short leash for C.J. Stroud. On top of the other factors we've talked about, I think he knows he's got a little bit of margin to make things like defensive coordinator switches and stuff midseason because there's so much, shall we call it, parity in this league this year. I'll give you the last word.
Parity, exactly that. I can't think of a matchup in the Big Ten Eastern Division. I guess the one coming up this Saturday, Rutgers, Ohio State, would be the most certain win for one team over another. But we're going to constantly have games that are throw up your hands. Who's going to win this game? Unless Ohio State breaks away, unless maybe Penn State's that good, and maybe the chaos continues to another level starting this Friday in the Big Ten when Iowa goes to Maryland.
Interesting game. Team that's in the top 10 is barely a field goal favorite on the road against an unranked team. So there you go. Good to see you as always, Mark. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.